My name is Aurelia and I am 28 years old. The day my sister smashed my son's birthday gifts, while everyone laughed, is a day I will never forget. That it was supposed to be simple, warm lights in our backyard, blue and silver balloons tied to every chair, a chocolate cake with my son's favorite cartoon hero standing proudly on top. I had spent weeks planning it, saving quietly from my freelance design projects, cutting down on my own expenses just to see his eyes light up when he opened his presents. He was turning 6.6 years of being the only reason I kept breathing after my husband walked away. 6 years of fighting whispers from relatives who said I was too young, too emotional, too weak to raise a child alone. I ignored them all because when my son wrapped his tiny arms around my neck and said, "Mama, you're my superhero," nothing else mattered. That afternoon, the yard was full. My cousins clustered near the grill, laughing too loudly. My mother supervised the food like a general commanding an army. My sister Celine arrived late, as always, heels clicking against the stone path, oversized sunglasses, a smirk that never quite reached her eyes. She didn't hug me. She barely looked at my son. Instead, she scanned the decorations and said, "Wow, Aurelia, you really went all out. Must be exhausting pretending everything's perfect." I swallowed it. For my son, the gifts were stacked neatly on a long white table. Bright wrapping paper, shiny ribbons, each one chosen with care. A remote control car, a set of building blocks he had begged for. A small bicycle I found secondhand but restored until it looked brand new. They weren't expensive, but they were meaningful. When it was time to open them, everyone gathered around. Phones out, cameras ready. My son sat cross-legged, grinning so wide his cheeks hurt. He reached for the first box. That's when Celine laughed. "Wait," she said loudly. "Let's see if they're actually worth opening." Before I understood what she meant, she stepped forward, picked up the top gift, and dropped it hard onto the ground. That the crack of breaking plastic sliced through the air. Everyone froze for half a second. Then someone chuckled. She lifted the next one and slammed it down harder. Wrapping paper tore. The remote control car's wheel snapped clean off. My son's smile vanished. His small hands trembled in his lap. "Celine, stop," I whispered. She didn't. One by one, she smashed them. The building blocks scattered across the pavement. The bicycle tipped over, handlebars bent. She kicked it lightly as if testing its weakness. And then laughter. Not from strangers, not from family. My cousin covered her mouth, but didn't step in. My uncle shook his head like it was harmless drama. Even my mother muttered, "It's just a joke." Don't be so sensitive. A joke. My 6-year-old's birthday reduced to entertainment. Tears welled in his eyes. But he didn't cry. He looked at me instead, confused, searching my face for safety. And something inside me cracked louder than any toy. "Why would you do that?" I asked, my voice shaking. Celine shrugged. "Maybe next time, don't try so hard to impress people." It's embarrassing. Because I didn't have a husband beside me. Because I didn't have her money. Because I dared to create joy without permission. The air felt heavy. That's when my father stood up. He had been sitting quietly near the edge of the yard, watching everything. A man of few words. A man who always chose silence over confrontation. Growing up, I learned not to expect him to defend me. But this time, he didn't look down. He walked slowly toward the destroyed gifts. His shoes crunched over shattered plastic. He bent down, picked up the broken remote control car, and examined it. Then he looked at my son. "What did you wish for this year?" he asked softly. My son sniffed. "I wished for everyone to be happy." The words hit harder than any slap. My father's jaw tightened. He slipped off his wedding ring and held it in his palm. Gasps rippled through the yard. He looked directly at Celine. And for the first time in my life, I saw disappointment in his eyes. "Family is not cruelty," he said. Silence swallowed the laughter whole. "A joke does not humiliate a child," he continued. "A joke does not crush what a mother builds with love." For years, he admitted, he believed silence kept peace. But silence feeds cruelty. And today, he said firmly, I refused to feed it. No one laughed now. He knelt in front of my son and brushed a gentle hand over his hair. You deserved better. That's when my son finally cried. Quiet tears sliding down his cheeks, I held him close, promising myself that he would never feel small again. Celine crossed her arms. It's not like the gifts were expensive. They were, I said steadily. They cost me late nights, skipped meals, pride. My father stood again. If you cannot respect this child, you cannot stand in this family as if nothing happened. He placed his wedding ring on the broken table. Commitment means nothing without kindness. The party ended quietly. Later, my father picked up the bent bicycle and said, "We can fix this." He wasn't just talking about the bike. In the weeks that followed, he moved into a small apartment nearby. Relatives called me dramatic and grateful, but I had seen what real strength looked like. It wasn't loud. It was a man removing his wedding ring and saying 4 words that changed everything. A month later, he brought my son a new remote control car. This one is built stronger, he said. My son smiled again, and this time, no one smashed it. Family forever does not mean accepting abuse. Family forever means protecting the smallest heart in the room. Sometimes, all it takes is for words to change everything.